what's up, everybody? Welcome to this edition of the Bass Cast on BassEast.com. Today we've got our FLW Tour champion, Buddy Gross. He just won at Pickwick, and he did all his damage on a Hog Farmer hair jig. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, not much, man. How you?
Doing good, man. Happy to catch up with you, and hopefully we can learn some stuff today.
Yeah, that hair jig did good for me this week.
Well, the hair jig's kind of new to the bass fishing scene. A lot of people think of them as striper baits, but you guys have adapted that thing for especially I guess on the TVA to catch some giant sacks of bass, right?
Yes, sir. It's just something extra we can throw. It's a more subtle presentation. We use it a lot whenever the fishing pressure's heavy, but it's just imitating the dying shad, and it's an easy meal for a fish, and they just can't stand it most of the time.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how and where you fish that bait.
Most times we throw it on ledges or humps or anywhere we find some schooling fish. We just throw it out, let it go to the bottom, and we let the depth control what size we use most times. I mean, most times it's 3/4, half, and 1 ounce. And we just throw it out, let it go to the bottom, start, kind of 4 or 5 real good burns on it, let it fall back down. You got to kind of mix it up, just figure out what they want. You may do 8 count and then let it fall. The more you reel it, the higher it gets in the water columns and the more fall it has. So if the fish are up off the bottom a little bit, I reel it more. And if they're closer to the bottom, I reel it less. And most bites you get is on the fall, and it's just a real light, subtle tick, which, that was the big thing for me. And the wind blows so hard during the tournament that the bites are kind of hard to feel. My hammer rods, though, are so sensitive, I can barely feel the tick. When I feel the tick, I'd reel down, and I feel pressure, I just kind of sweep into it. There wasn't really a hook set or anything. It kind of does the work for you. It's just a really impressive bait.
Well, how about as far as the tackle that you use to fish? I know you're throwing up to a 1 ounce hair jig. Is that like the biggest thing that you throw, or how big can you get with that thing?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I got some bigger, but 1 ounce is kind of my favorite, even at any depth.
And how about as far as rod and reel? Is there a particular setup that you like better than others?
Yes, I prefer a little longer rod. I use a 7.3 extra heavy hammer fishing rod and a loose 6/8 to 1 tournament probe. 17-pound fluorocarbon, and that allows me to feel that bite also. But it's pretty simple. You can throw it on 7 or you can throw it on 7.6. Just depends on what you want, your preference. But the length of the rod is not that big a deal. I think you just need a sensitive rod so you can feel what's going on.
Right, and be able to catch that little tick when it happens, because I imagine they can hit it and spit it out before you even know what happened.
That's right. So the smallmouth seem to hit it 4 or 5 times before they'd ever get it. They'd play with it a lot of times, but the largemouth, when you feel one tick and it'd have it almost swallowed. I mean, they were really eating it good.
Kind of a special week for you, huh?
It was. I mean, me and my family kind of put everything on the line on this deal to see if we can make it work, and we were going to give it 1 season, and we were almost to the point where we weren't even going to get to finish the season if it worked for friends and family and sponsors cutting in on us to help us. But it's just been a magical year. I started off as bad as you could finish. I mean, in the first 2 tournaments, and I had a good finish at Beaver, and come to Pickwick and come out with a win. It's just God blessed us is all I can tell you. He looked down and took care of us.
Well, let me ask you a little bit about the Hog Farmer Bait Company. Scott makes some special Alabama rigs that have won a lot of money over the years, and he has a lot of offerings out there that you're not going to find anywhere. But what do you think makes his hair jig so special?
To me, it's the feathers. The feathers out the back of this thing, it kind of makes it look like a porky tail, and I think even though I'm throwing a white one, he's got all kinds of colors, but that big fork on the back of it, I think it imitates a gizzard shad pretty good myself. And the Tennessee River gizzard shad is what they like to eat. And if I had to contribute something to it, it would be the feathers hanging off the back.
Sure. So, any other tips that you can share to a guy that's going out on a lake first time, never thrown the hair jig? What should he do?
Uh, Personally, I think he needs to have some good electronics to go ahead and find him a little bit of a starting point. I don't think it's a good, just go fish bait. It's going to need to be around some, schooling fish or at least a fish set up. But it's just find you a ledge, got some fish schooling on it, throw it out, let it go to the bottom, and then just start burying your retrieve back. And I promise you, they're going to eat it.
All right, buddy. Well, look, thanks for taking the time and sharing some tips with us today. Congratulations on your win. And guys, do yourself a favor. Go check out the whole lineup over at Hog Farmer Bait Company. You won't be disappointed. They've got some really unique stuff. And if you like to throw that Alabama rig, I would say Scott's got the best. Would you agree, buddy?
Without a doubt, his Alabama rig, I've been throwing it since he first started making it before he even had a company per se. And I'm telling you, I have caught some giants, and I've caught 3 and 4 at a time on his rig, and they are very durable and they catch fish.
All right, buddy. Well, thanks for taking the time to chat with us today, and get some rest. I'm sure you need it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.